Hello once again, Dave Knight here at knightcapitalmanagement.com. I want to welcome you once again. This is going to be another educational video. It's going to be a very short video. I want to go over a couple questions that I had on some of the background. I guess we'll call this general information background part 2, whatever you want to call it. But here you are at knightcapitalmanagement.com. You can also, the way that I talked about it last week was just scroll down on the right hand side. Oh, if you haven't watched this, this is an excellent YouTube video. Laid Off by Lehman, One Broker Story. I mean, they obviously got other things that they've done, but I found this quite entertaining. Anyway, just a side note. Let's go down. Scroll down to your right. You're going to see a little tab that says Day Trading Night Blog. Learn how to become a successful day trader. Click Day Trading. Go ahead, click this picture above. And when it decides to load, taking its old sweet. There we go. Now, last week we did part 1, background and general information. We talked about a lot of different things in a quick period of time. I'm going to spend a couple more minutes on 2 websites that I think is very important when you're getting your morning set up. So let's go ahead and go to the first of them, and that is the Forex Factory, forexfactory.com. Every morning when you get in, like if it's Monday morning, it's going to say today's calendar. It's going to give you the date and all that stuff. And then one of the things that I guess I didn't make clear on the last video is if you go over here to this filter and press this filter on, what you want to do is just click, I like to click the European markets. I like to click the obviously the U.S. markets. Now, obviously I know that there's a lot of things that's going on in all the rest of the world, but I'm only concerning myself with the U.S. market. So what I want to know is what happened in the European markets overnight and how that affects, and what's also, and I mean obviously I know the Japanese markets and all that is very, very important, but it does not affect my trading since they're usually sleeping by the time that that I'm trading. U.S. markets, the red clicked show impacts, so the red, orange, and yellow, the filter charts. Now let's talk about the different colors here. Now a red impact chart, now what that's going to mean, and let's actually go over and get out of here and let's look at last week's calendar, which is actually this week's calendar. And this was now when you first print this off, obviously all the actuals on a Monday morning are not going to be known, and so going into the morning, what you're not going to know is what is the what's the unknowns, what's going to happen. I mean, you're going to know, like, here's a red report. Fed Chairman Bernanke testifies. And if I'm not mistaken, somewhere during the week we had Alan Greenspan actually speaking as well, which wasn't actually on here, but you had to go find that and dig that out. So knowing who's speaking, it was actually, I think it was the day of, it was either Wednesday or Thursday if I remember right. Anyway, so Fed Chairman Bernanke is testifying, and they're given on Forex Factory a red impact. Now, what this means to me is that I really don't want to be in the market. And for the Fed Chairman speaking and the way this market's been moving, I don't want to be in the market, period, until after he's done. If we go back and look at Monday's chart, you're going to see that really there was no action in the ES. Now, ZP made some moves and so forth, but it's best sometimes just to stay out of the market and don't trade. You know, it's okay to, as a day trader, to sleep in on maybe not sleeping in, but obviously to take some time off, maybe play with your kids. I goof about go playing a round of golf, but anyway. Now the only other red report that you'll see on the whole week was on Thursday, October 23rd, 8:30 unemployment claims. Now, one of the ways I like to look at the market is at 8:30 on the bonds. You know, the bonds open at 8:20. A lot of times you're going to have a report at least once a week. It's going to come off at 8:30. One of the ways that I like to approach the market is is the market, how is it reacting to the report 5 minutes after the report? Because you know the bonds on my 15-minute chart are going to go from 8:20 to 8:35, and then there's going to be the 8:30 report in there, and there's going to be, if it's going to affect the market, you don't want to trade in front of this report. Obviously, you don't want to trade on Employment Friday as well. But red report, what I'm trying to say is that you don't want to trade in front of a red report And the earliest I want to enter, in this case an 8:30 report, is perhaps at 8:35. Now if the market's not doing what it needs to be done to get that trade, there's still all the other rules that are applied. But how early do I enter? Well, I'm going to enter either 5 minutes after the report, 8:35 on the bonds. Now sometimes you got a 10 o'clock report, like down here. Now I don't trade Fridays normally, but you have a 10 o'clock report. Now the earliest you can enter on the bonds is 10:05, and the earliest that you'd be entering into the ES market would be 10:15. Now this doesn't mean that you can't trade in front of it, since you have 8:20 to 9:30. In this case, you could trade up all the way to 9:45 if you could find it. But you want to be, I think personally, you want to be out of the market 15 minutes before the red report, and you're going to wait 5 to 15 minutes after the red report before you get back into the market. If and only if, well, let me make that, that there is an entry. So let's go ahead and move on. Now that's all I want to spend on the economic report here on the Forex Factory. Now another question I received was on briefing.com. Now when you first get in here, you're going to see investor. It's going to say free content. Well, that's the link that you want to click. And once you get into the main, now I would suggest that you just save these to your favorites and put them in a folder. That's what I do. And you're going to see there's all kinds of stuff here. I mean, all kinds. There's briefing TV. There's all kinds of really, really good stuff here. But what I mainly use it for is the stock market update under market snapshot, and the bond market update. Now let's just use the stock market update, because that's the bond market update can get kind of confusing. I would suggest just read it every day, get used to the wording, get used to what they're trying to say. 3, the spread against this. Just start getting used to the terminology that's being thrown at you. Now in the morning, this market snapshot, this is all going to be blank. You're not going to have anything. What's going to look like in the morning? Let's go back to the morning. The morning of the day that you're looking at, you're going to have yesterday, and it's going to go ahead and tell you a few things about yesterday. And then you're going to have, as the market's moving on, and then I'm getting up and getting ready to trade, you're going to have information that you can read. Now 8 o'clock, sometimes there's a lot here, and 8 o'clock on Friday there's a lot going on. Obviously we were trading limit down in the market, and we ended up finishing up higher on the day, which would have been, once again we're looking into the eyes of the abyss, I think. And anyway, being a day trader, I don't worry myself with what's happening. Well, obviously I worry myself with what's happening in the overnights, but since I don't have any position, I sleep well at night. And that's one of the things I want to, some of these stock traders right now are getting their shirts handed to them. They're getting margin calls. They're getting all kinds of things. They're getting wiped out. Me, I'm doing good, and you can do good as well. And what you want to look for, like in a market, on the briefing, is you want to see, okay, where traders, or traders' economic reports. I'm looking for economic reports. I'm looking to see, obviously, what the market's been doing. And I'm looking, is the traders looking for any economic reports to weigh on? And sometimes you'll see that. It'll say, traders are looking for the employment data at 8:30. They're looking, and therefore trading is very light. See, I mean, it'll actually spell it in here. Hey, like all of a sudden the idiot light goes off. Hey, maybe I shouldn't trade right now. That's one of the things you want to look at too as well. And obviously keeping up on what's going on in the world. Now I keep on CNBC on mute on my TV. If the market really moves, I don't like to listen to the pundits and those people on TV talk. But one of the things I like to listen to is the market really, if it'll clip one way or the other really hard, and I'm not in the market, or if I'm debating about getting in the market, I want to know what kind of news has set that off. Anyway, that's I'm running out of time. That's 9 minutes here. It's actually more than I wanted to spend today talking about 2 websites, but I hope this gives you a little bit more information about why I look at both of these websites. Once again, you can find it under either nightcapitalmanagement.com to get to my blog, or daytradingnight.com. I want to wish you all the best in your trading as well. I want to wish you all a wonderful weekend. I hope that you didn't get caught in all this mess right now. And if you are caught in that mess, I mean, trade with wisdom. It's crazy. It's a crazy period that we're in. No one living has seen this kind of market in our lifetime. I mean, most of the people that have seen anything like this were just children. So keep that in mind as we go forward and through this rest of this next week. This is Dave Knight once again at Knight Capital Management and also daytradingknight.com. Wish you all the best in your trading. Good luck, everyone, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye now.